Hello, hello. I am Coach Cori Sartori. I empower women to claim their independence from codependent relationships, heal from heartache, and live a life they love. I am so excited to be sharing with you a few tips today on how to release fear. The reason I wanted to talk about fear is because I know that this is something that almost every single one of us feel on a daily basis, whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of leaving a really hard relationship, maybe it's the fear of going after your dreams, maybe you have fear of something happening to a family member. And fear is something we all face. I think for me, fear really showed up last year in 2021 after I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I remember getting that phone call and just the fear of the unknown and the fear of, what's happening with my life? Why is this happening? Was just a lot. And so finding ways to deal with fear and to not let them stop me or hold me back was really important for me. And I knew a few ways to do it, but putting it into action is different than actually teaching it or talking about it. And so I'm going to offer you a few tips today on how I overcame fear when I was faced with the scariest thing I've ever had to face, which is cancer. And so I am excited that you guys are here. Thank you for jumping on. Wave at me, say hi when you get on. I'm so grateful for you. Hi, Jen. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Mickey. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you showing up. So let's dive into some ways to overcome fear. And again, these are a few of the ways that I help myself overcome fear as I face breast cancer. So the first one I wanted to offer you is come back to the present moment. And this one, it was huge for me and still is huge for me, because a lot of times when we're feeling fear, it's because we're creating a story in our head, right? So we're creating worry and doubt and fear in our mind. It's not actually happening in that moment. And so coming back into the present moment was and is something that is so powerful. And when I recognize that I'm practicing being in the moment the most is when I'm with my son. He's almost 4 years old, and there's times where, right, I'm in my head about work or life or whatever, and just being able to sit with him and stop my mind and just look in his eyes and be present and breathe helps me just be in the moment, and it shuts down that fear or that doubt and that worry. And so coming back to the present moment, and there's so many ways you can do it. Like there's, like I said, there's times where I just say stop and I just focus on breathing. So coming back to your breath, taking 5 deep breaths can be really powerful. There are so many different mindfulness exercises out there. Like you can Google mindfulness exercises and find so many things, but that can help you come back to the present moment. Being able to be there with, your 5 senses. What is something you can touch? What is something you can smell? Things like that can really help you come back into the present moment. And so that's the first tip I want to offer you is when you are feeling fear or worry or doubt, come back to the present moment. A mantra that I repeat to myself often is be here now, be here now, be here now. So when I'm feeling that fear, when my mind is wandering, I start saying this mantra and it brings me back into the present moment. Hi, Jeannie. So the next thing that I want to offer you is face your fears, right? Because I know for me, I was very good at always running from my fear, or I would stuff down the pain and I wouldn't acknowledge it and I would just move on. And sitting down and facing my fears was something that was really powerful for me. And so what does that look like in action? So sitting down and writing out all of your fears can help you bring to light what is really going on. It can help you be aware of like, okay, well, is this really that big of a deal? Or am I just creating a story around it that's amplifying it and making it that much scarier? And a lot of times, like for me, as going through cancer, there was that fear of like, dying. There's the fear of not being there for my son's graduation. There's a fear of losing my hair, right? And so there's all these fears, but at the end of the day, I had to get really aware of like, I have no control. And none of us have any control. We have a sense, we think we can control the things that are happening in our life, but we don't have any control. And so once I got present to the fact that I had no control, sitting down and facing those fears and what is the worst thing that could come of this, just helped me let it go. It helped it not sit with me so much. It helped me not be overwhelmed with it because there's nothing I can do. I had no control. And so I wrote out those fears And then I wrote out what was the worst possible scenario, and I moved on because there was nothing I could do. I couldn't control it. When I lost my hair, like, I was devastated. I cried a lot, but again, I had no control. And so there wasn't really a point of me having that fear of losing my hair because it was going to happen anyways and I couldn't control it. So that's the second thing, is face your fears. Sit down, make a list of all of your fears and what's the worst possible outcome. And the third thing that I want to offer you is focus on gratitude. You guys know, if you've been watching me, if you've been following me, you know that I jam on gratitude. And gratitude is one of the things that 100% helped me move past my fear and my worry as I went through cancer. Because, right, there's this big scary thing in front of me, but when I sat down and focused on all of the amazing things I had in my life, I was, again, able to come back into the present moment and just live in gratitude. I also, maybe a week or two after I was diagnosed, I was watching a documentary and a gentleman in it said that if you want to have a real gratitude practice, you need to be grateful for the shit. And so when I went through cancer, I decided to be grateful for cancer, be grateful that it was happening to me in this moment and it was teaching me something. And instead of being pissed off and angry and trying to run from the fact that this was happening to me, I sat with gratitude. And anytime you connect to gratitude, you just can feel happier. You feel happier, you feel more joyful. And so that fear and that worry will dissipate, it will go away. And so those are the three things that I wanted to offer you today. And I promise you, I do these lives because I know that if you try the actions on that I offer you, you will see a shift. You will see a difference in your life. So again, I'm going to say the three actions to take to release fear and write them down. So the first one is come back to the present moment, whether that's through breath work, mindfulness, a mantra. Come back to the present moment, because fear is happening in your mind. It's not happening in the moment. The second thing is face your fears. Write out a list of all of your fears and what's the worst possible outcome. And then there you go. There's nothing you can do about it. And the third thing is focus on gratitude. Gratitude will transform your life, whether you are choosing to use it to help you overcome fear or whatever. But gratitude is something that I believe in so much. And so anytime you are in a hard situation, anytime you are feeling fear or worry, sit down and speak out loud what you're grateful for. Maybe you choose to journal about what you're grateful for, but take a moment to be grateful. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. And I do have 2 spots left for my coaching program, Step Into Your Power, for the month of February. If you are interested in hearing how I can support you as a coach, send me a DM now. And I look forward to connecting with you. I hope you have an awesome week.